Welcome to our tutorial on how to draw the thalamic nuclei. The thalamus resembles the shape of an egg, so we want to start with an oval shape. Here's one we drew earlier. Remember, there are two thalamus, one on each side of the third ventricle. Here we are just drawing one. Each thalamus is divided into three parts. We draw a Y shape with the Y starting at the left-hand side of the oval, as shown. The opening of the Y is the anterior aspect of the thalamus. Now we need to further divide the three parts into sections. We'll start with the bottom part. At the posterior end, we draw a vertical line, then divide the remaining space horizontally. We divide the top half into two and the bottom half into 5 parts. At the posterior end, we'll add 2 additional nuclei by drawing 2 balls. And to complete this section, we draw a long, worm-like structure along the whole lateral aspect of the thalamus. We're colour-coding each anatomical part. Each colour represents a division which we'll now identify. In red, we have the anterior division, comprised only of the anterior nucleus. In blue, we have the medial division, comprised of the dorsal medial nucleus. The lateral division has 2 tiers. In orange, we have the dorsal tier of the lateral division. It has 3 nuclei, the lateral dorsal, the lateral posterior, and the pulvinar nucleus. In yellow, we have the ventral tier of the lateral division. It has 5 nuclei. Starting at the anterior aspect, we have the ventral anterior, the ventral lateral, the ventral intermediate, the ventral posterior medial, and the ventral posterior lateral. The worm-like structure has been coloured in green. It is the reticular nucleus. We coloured the 2 additional nucleus in purple. They are the medial geniculate and the lateral geniculate nuclei. As you will have noticed, there are these white spaces in between the divisions. These are the white matter fibres that actually divide the thalamus. The Y-shaped white matter is the internal medullary lamina. In between the ventral tier and the reticular nucleus, we have the external medullary lamina. There are 3 other nuclei that we're not able to see from this view. In order to see them, we need to make a cross-section drawing. We draw the round shape of the section thalamus and divide it with an S-shaped band. Within this band, we draw 1 larger circle inferiorly and 2 small circles superiorly. On the left side, we draw a semicircular line and then split the remaining space. The lateral divisions and the dorsomedial nucleus are coloured as before. The dark green semicircle is the arcuate nucleus. The 2 smaller circles we colour blue. They are the parafascicular nuclei. The large circle in burgundy is the centromedian nucleus. The parafascicular and centromedian nuclei together are known as the intralaminar nuclei. Now we'll take a brief look at the functional anatomy groups of the thalamus. If we draw a triangle that joins the anterior, dorsal medial and lateral dorsal nuclei, we have the 3 nuclei that relay autonomic and limbic function. If we draw a box around the ventral anterior, ventral lateral and ventral intermediate, we have a group of nuclei that relay motor information. If we draw another box that groups the ventral posterior medial, ventral posterior lateral and part of the pulvinar, we have the nuclei that relay somatosensory information. Grouping the lateral posterior and pulvinar give the association nuclei. And finally, the medial geniculate and lateral geniculate nuclei relay special sensory information, namely auditory and visual input. And there we have it. That's how you draw the thalamic nuclei. enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.